Hello and welcome to installment number 2. So I went through this a little more last night and discovered a couple of things. First of all, I ended up having to cover up the dial because I cannot get the pointer off of there to save my life. I was able to pull the front faceplate forward a little bit, but I couldn't find a screw on the pulley behind it that this dial string is connected to, and so I kind of haphazardly here just covered it up with some paper, along with the speaker, which I didn't do before the video yesterday, and I guess I should have, but anyhow, so what was I? Oh, all right. So in this here, I went ahead and glued this back together. It was falling apart, and then of course this afternoon when I was moving around, I popped it off again. The cardboard is really brittle, and of course it's right there on the edge, so I just have to be super careful, and then I'll make sure I glue it or epoxy it back together when I'm done. Excuse me. Couple of things. I went through and I tested the coils, and this one, this is the second IF. You know, I mistook this for being a wave trap, not thinking. You know, well, you saw it when I saw it yesterday for the first time. So, anyhow, the primary was open. And so I went searching around through my stuff, and the only 470, just like the 3812, this is 470 kilohertz IF instead of 455. So I went through my stash, and all I had were two first IFs. And I had this one second IF. Problem with this one was that it ohms out okay on the primary, but the secondary only ohms out at 1.4, which is pretty low. It should be around 5, although I know these things are actually in henries or micro henries, but who has an LC meter? Well, except for I do now, but back in the day. But anyway, so I took several loops off of this. I figured I had nothing to lose, and there's several little bits that came off. Finally, the last long bit was here. Not quite sure you can see that. There you go. Anyhow, as the result is that I now have the winding is no longer open. Another thing about this was, you know, that phono jack was in the back, and it's interestingly, it was put in there quite a while ago. I'm thinking because the well, it looks old for one thing, and this here, the cap here, it basically, this goes on, it connects here, which then just goes to the volume control. I'm assuming, well, maybe you guys don't, but that's pretty much how easy it is to connect up a phono input. Just connecting it up to the volume control. And I have to laugh that some of these people, like at Radio Addict, charge $75 for it, because you can pick up 100 of these for 10-20 bucks on eBay. So that's quite a bit of money. But anyhow, so I tested the oscillator coil. It's fine, despite being chewed to bits. The power supply ohms out. Volume control needs to be replaced, of course, because that's my luck. And I'll just go ahead and use one of the Philco ones, the $1.99 ones. The shaft isn't quite long enough, or isn't quite as long as this one, but once you push the knobs on, like I did with the 3812, it should be okay. I mean, you won't really be able to tell. I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of coveting the new old stock ones I have, mostly because they all have really long shafts on them, and I'm going to come across, you know, a baby grand, yeah, that's right, I'm going to come across one of those that's going to need the longer shaft. And as it is, coming up, I'm going to have to revisit the 610 because the volume control conked out. Now when you're anywhere near the lower portion of it and you touch it, it oscillates, and it's so darn loud that it sends the cat under the bed. So, and plus that screech is awful. I do have a control for it that I ordered a long time ago, kind of thinking that it might need to be replaced, and it does. So anyhow, I'll do that later. So what I was going to show you on this coil, it's kind of interesting because I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but whoever worked on this, and I don't know if you can see it, well, the reason why the buttons are stuck is because somebody soldered the darn thing basically closed, and I don't know why that is, but first I'm going to get the radio going before I try to visit the buttons. Anyway, so like I said, one thing at a time. This coil is good. This one is good, despite that it's falling apart, and that clip better not get lost. Anyway, so what I was going to show you here is something else that someone did, whoever it was. When this second IF, and you know, I'm going to put a I'll put a link to the schematic on up on the in the description in case you want to go look. So on this here, more of my little confetti. First of all, I'll just go ahead and show you that it does ohm out. You guys can see that now, yeah. So the primary, the top, it's 23, I think, 23 point something or other, 23.34. That's good. No longer open. The schematic calls for it to be 20. I took off quite a bit of wire, so I thought, but there must be a mile of it on here because I don't know what it, of course, would have read with the wire on there, but it's reading slightly higher than it should, than the specs. Lower one here should read 5. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, I guess it would help if I put it on the right place. Scared myself for a moment. Alright, so this one's supposed to read 5, and what do you know? It's right on 5. So, good, good, good. Interestingly, though, this... something I did come across when I was pulling this out. The primary here connects up to the plate of the 78 tube. Which makes sense. This other part of the primary here, according to the schematic, should attach to, because this is a 39.7, this one should attach to pin 5 on the oscillator, which is this one here, right? How does that thing go? Yeah, it's this right there. Well, it should connect up to here. However, there is a wire here that that connects up over here. There is solder left over on or sorry, in this, it looks like it got clipped because it's shorter than the other ones, and it would fit perfectly right here, which is when this is in there is about 1/4 of an inch away, so it wasn't connected to anything, which is kind of odd. Because I mean, after all, I'm assuming the second IF is important. If it's not, then I really fussed over nothing. So I guess that's where I'm going to connect it. Now, if I haven't looked up at the switch yet and how it's been wired. If they're bypassing the switch, then this would go to 4 on the oscillator coil, which is this empty one here, which also has a bit of wire on it. So actually, that bit of wire comes from the where did that go? I think that. No, it's not. It's just there. Interesting. So probably a little bit of troubleshooting. All right. So I am ready to recap, I guess, and rewire. And since I've got this out, I'm going to replace some of the wires that were underneath it first. And I've got plenty of the urethane wire, whatever we use these days, PVC. So I've got plenty of that, and I even have cloth wire, so that should be fine. I'll start testing some of the resistors. So I don't really think you guys are interested in seeing that. I mean, everybody else, a lot of other people seem to do it. So and I don't know about you guys, but I do not. I don't want to make people think I have ADHD or anything, but you know, when I just get kind of bored of the videos if they're 30 minutes long and then I have to sit there watching for 5 minutes while somebody's fiddling with wires. I don't know. That's just me. So anyway, I will go ahead and start doing some of this, and I will see you in the third installment. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna, I'm kind of going back and forth on whether I'm gonna restuff the electrolytics or not. I'm not a fanatic. So, I don't know. Anyway, interestingly, this is a microfarad, and it was used to replace a 12, so I'm kind of wondering if this thing hummed a little bit. The 8's still original. This is way off. This one's actually reading at 21, although I did check it for leakage, and it was a little leaky, but it did reform. I didn't take it too high, but I guess it would be helpful if I put that on right. Yeah, and it's reading the same as the Sencor here, so 20, 21. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and obviously replace that. Again, I don't know if I want to restuff. These are the kind that screw on, and I don't want to mess them up. Besides that, they look nice, on the top. It's just part of its heritage, I guess. Alright, so I'll go ahead and start up with that. Anything else in here that's interesting? This here, I think, is a molded paper. I think it said so here in the parts list. I guess it would help if I looked at the part number. Where did I see it? Alright. Well, here I just had a conversation about while people 5 minutes of silence while people do something. Anyway, as I mentioned, somewhere in here it said it was molded. Do I have the right schematic? That was another thing yesterday. Is I had grabbed the 3812 schematic and I got a little confused. So, oh, there it is, 29. I knew I saw it somewhere. And there it is, condenser, 0.006 molded. So again, I'm assuming, I guess we can test it real quick. This one, by the way, tested out at 0.007. So I'm assuming that it's a 0.006. And this is showing up at 60 nanofarads, which is that 0.006? I think. No, that's too low. I'd cheat. I know you can just move the decimal over, but you know. 60. Yep. Oh no, it's 0.06. So, so that rate's high. All right. Well, anyway, I'll go ahead and end this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next installment. Have a great week. If I don't see, well, I'm not going to see you, but anyway, thanks.